Yeah, come on. Was it Bill?
I don't know. I was in punk rock and living out in the fucking burbs, and happened to like be flipping around the radio dial and heard it was either 91 or 88. Talk about like upcoming shows on the Metroplex, and like kind of like scoped it out, figured out where the fuck it was, because being a 14-year-old, I had no car, so it was up to me to con somebody into driving downtown, back when downtown wasn't so fucking nice, and going to some fucking dilapidated fucking building with a bunch of miscreants roaming around in it and hanging out so I could watch a fucking show.
I don't know.
That's right. What was your first show, though?
Fuck, I don't remember what my first fucking show in Metroplex was, man. That's blur. That's gone. It's in there somewhere, but I can't retrieve it.
Yeah.
Maybe like some other young kids at the time, we were so young, we didn't have cars, we couldn't drive, we didn't have friends that drove, so being on the south side, on the weekends, me and my friends would get our parents to drive us to the Army base, MARTA station.
Well, the thing the farthest back then at the MARTA ran was like East Lake. So that was like Fort McPherson.
Fort McPherson. So they would drop us off at Fort McPherson. We would get dropped off in the morning. We would take the train up to Edgewood or Inman Park station. We'd get off. We would walk the mile or so to Little Five Points and, start hanging out. That's where we met other punk rockers. And shortly after that, we became familiar with the Metroplex and started going to shows. And it was all craziness after that. Can't remember what my first show was, but I do have a lot of pretty vivid memories of being at the Plex. One of them being, it was Bad Brains. Me and Joe and Charles went to see the show, and
Bad Brains and Dr. No.
And so we go to the show and get totally obliterated even before we get there. And this memory stands out to me because we were dancing in the show, and I decided to get up and do a stage dive. So I got up on stage when the Bad Brains are playing, and I decided to do like a somersault over the front of the crowd that's on the floor, and I stage dove, did a somersault. People kind of crowded up towards the front of the stage, so it's a big wall of people right there, but right behind them was a big empty, area where people would go in a circle and dance, so there's like this vacuum right in the middle. So I stage dove, did the somersault, flipped off the back of the front of the crowd, and head first down into that grimy concrete, beer and dirt-ridden floor.
Vomit.
Head first, passed out. I woke up like 15 minutes later in the lobby with my friends throwing beer on my face to wake me up. My shirt was ripped off and gone. I had boot prints all over my chest, a black eye, a bloody nose, and it was just it's a great memory to have. All my memories there are negative. Like, I have all these bad memories, but in hindsight, they're good memories because I was just fucking it up and being crazy.
You could come up with that after all this time.
Yeah,
it's almost like
it was such a vivid memory.
Yeah.
It happened.
You would see that almost as is right now.
I see it
after all that time.
Color picture in my mind.
25 years ago, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Pain brings vivid memories.
No doubt.
Yeah. How does he do that?
You don't remember any stories?
No, that was pretty good though.
Mm-hmm. I got more.
No, I'm sure you do, because that was kick-ass.
Most of them involve...
I can almost see it like in a movie.
You can picture that?
Yeah.
That happening?
Yeah.
Boot prints.
Everything you were saying.
Prints all over my head and face and back. It was terrible. But good in hindsight.
All right.
Thinking back to dancing, which I just mentioned, at the Plex, and I'm sure it was going on all over the country at the time in the late 80s, but really the adrenaline and the testosterone going on with the guys in the pit.
It was still in the mid-80s.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Memory gets a little foggy, but it was great. Like, I don't know, modern man and young boys so full of testosterone and piss and vinegar. It was a great environment to let loose of some, you know, teenage angst, to just run around in a circle, just punching and beating each other and calling it dancing. It was a great experience. I look back on it with fondness. You
I should have gone.
did the
with
same
disco.
thing about 2 years ago at a Bad Brains reunion at the Masquerade. Me, without medical insurance, I'm like, I'm not getting in there. I'm in my early 40s. I'm not getting a broken arm because I can't afford. But this crazy
This is-
motherfucker gets
That's
out in
good.
the middle of the pit that was just as hardcore as back in the day. And this old guy,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't as hardcore as back
I mean, maybe it wasn't, but
then. It wasn't.
I guess he had good medical insurance because he didn't give a fuck. He just got out there and started duking it out with everybody.
Yeah, I think I stayed at work the next day.
It was fun to watch.